As every NJ2AS member already knows, New Jersey's astroturf gun control activists will never skip an opportunity to harass and destroy gun owners and legitimate businesses. Their current target? A proposed shooting range in Ramsey, New Jersey. And the fight has just begun.
Only thing the town ordinance tells
my likeness on any private website. You don't.
the law say differently. I'm sorry.
No, they don't.
Right.
I know the laws just as much as you.
Okay.
You don't have the right to use my likeness.
Ignorance to laws regarding filming in the public domain, especially at a public meeting, is pathetic. Fighting the development of a legitimate business that will support property taxpayers in Ramsey because it's a state-of-the-art gun range is shameful. Let's take a look at some of their tactics.
One in Virginia Beach is 52,000 square feet, and their ordinance requires a 255 parking space. That they met it because they had 269 parkings. Yet if you go on Yelp, people complain that during peak hours parking is horrific.
That's hearsay. We need a question.
You think you only need 160, maybe 271 if you decide to knock some tree downs, right? Make a few owls homeless. If not, it'll be 218. So why the lower need?
This type of misinformation about parking and questionable concerns for owls is part of the campaign to demean decent, law-abiding citizens from exercising their constitutional rights. Did she honestly think Yelp reviews allegedly complaining about parking at gun ranges in Virginia has anything to do with Ramsey? Or was this about something else?
New Jersey municipality agreed to a settlement of $3.25 million for illegally rejecting a mosque.
In 2011, members of the Islamic Society of Basking Ridge bought this 4-acre plot in Bernards Township with plans to raise the house and build a mosque. But those plans were derailed after nearly 40 public hearings and 4 years of denied permits.
Just like Muslims have successfully sued municipalities based off questionable parking concerns violating their constitutional rights, NJ2AS will be willing to take any necessary legal action, which the Ramsey Planning Board chairman was well aware of.
This board is governed by certain mandates and requirements by state law. Anyone can appeal a decision this board makes. That appeal goes to the Superior Court to a judge to listen to what happened here. And when people try to make comments and the board hears that not being sworn and out of order, that prejudices the whole case. And then there's an ugly word that the judges use, it's called remand. It says go back and start again. And no one in the room wants to do that. That's the only thing we'll agree to.
And for those Second Amendment legal scholars that don't know, a federal appeals court recently ruled restrictions for gun ranges in Chicago are unconstitutional, describing them as an elaborate scheme of regulations.
Is there a plan in the future after your structure is built to potentially do baseline analysis of soil?
Not to my knowledge.
Are you aware that filters from gun ranges that have less than 5 parts per million lead can be thrown in regular trash?
No, I was not aware of that.
Are you aware of anything that Screaming Eagle has done to prevent any potential runoff from contaminants from garbage or trash into the waterways?
Speaking of elaborate schemes, parking concerns are one thing, but our favorite legal scholar is also an expert in waste management at gun ranges. 5 parts per million of lead is the EPA limit for considering a waste material hazardous, which means it has special disposal requirements and all businesses and individuals are required by law to follow them. Also, if the proposed range is a threat to the sewage infrastructure of Ramsey, I wonder how many public meetings our favorite legal expert and municipal engineer has been to regarding that issue for other developments. This is just another desperate and shallow attempt to confuse the planning board and the public, and one can only imagine what other sorts of misinformation these astroturf activists are intentionally spreading.
Sometimes people have been negatively affected by their views and voicing them here at the meetings and other places.
I absolutely
And as a
understand.
trauma expert, that really worries me that that could be happening and people are going to feel threatened by coming up here. So I'm sorry, but I needed to leave with that.
Let's not forget their concern for those who've been traumatized for speaking at public meetings. I'm sure the trauma specialist was offering her services pro bono when anti-Second Amendment newspapers maliciously published the names and addresses of gun owners, including survivors of domestic violence purposely living in private. The hypocrisy is disgusting, but not surprising given the national trends.
The people that support you threatening me because we already have.
Well, if anyone's
have.
threatening you, then you should call the police.
I have.
Or you should get a gun. That's a better idea.
Oh my God, that's
If you're-
hysterical.
It's obvious these astroturf gun control activists don't want to accept great advice, nor do they really oppose the range itself. They just hate guns and will do everything they can to harass law-abiding, Constitution-loving gun owners. That's why we need you to stand with NJ2AS. Please visit nj2as.org to find out how you could help fight back.
Or you should get a gun. That's a better idea.
Oh my God, that's
If you're-